This video will explore the history of religious orders and Catholic schools in Australia. There were many new religious orders formed in Europe in the 1800s, rising up to meet the needs of society. For the first time, women were able to work outside the convent. Catherine Macaulay, founder of the Sisters of Mercy in 1831 in Ireland, was the driving force of this change. Australia was new ground for mission, and there was a great need for education and healthcare among the settled populations. The government did not provide any support to settlers at this time. The Sisters of Mercy founded one of the first girls' schools in Australia in 1846, when they arrived on the Swan River in Western Australia. The first religious institute founded in Australia was a community of sisters, that of the Sisters of St. Joseph of the Sacred Heart, which was founded by St. Mary MacKillop, who you can see on your screen, in 1866. The Josephite nuns were running 35 schools in South Australia by 1871. The numbers of sisters grew to around 5,000 by 1910, expanding out of the cities into the Australian country. They struggled with very little money and put themselves through great hardships to run these schools. The largest male religious order in the early years of colonization of Australia was the Christian Brothers. The Christian Brothers were founded by Edmund Rice, whose image you can see on the screen, who lived from 1762 to 1844 in Ireland. Rice had married, but unfortunately, after the birth of a daughter, had been widowed and looked for another way to spend his life. Rice began to plan the Christian Brotherhood. When his daughter Mary grew up, Edmund Rice began his work on the religious order and was joined by other like-minded brothers who wanted to serve young people through education. The Religious Order of Christian Brothers was officially founded in 1820. In 1843, 3 Christian Brothers arrived in Sydney and set up 3 schools. They went back to Ireland in 1846, but another group of 4 Christian Brothers returned 2 years later to Melbourne, where a school was opened. The Christian Brothers set up several more schools in Brisbane, Perth and Adelaide. The brothers were running 35 schools by 1900. The Christian Brothers were also involved in the running of orphanages. There were other male religious orders active in the late 1800s in Australia. These included the Marist Brothers, who arrived in Australia in 1872, landing in Sydney, where they opened a school. The sisters on your screen are the Sisters of Mercy, who founded St. Patrick's College, Townsville, in 1878. Other religious orders that ran schools in the 1800s included the Sisters of Charity and the Good Samaritan Sisters. By 1893, every state in Australia had removed government funding to Catholic schools, and yet religious orders continued running these schools, relying on hard work and the support of religious orders in other countries. The schools were so well supported that many were able to survive for the next 100 years and more.